Okay, so this week two, or this the recording number two, not week two, but recording number two for the game art class. Are the videos pretty helpful?
Yes, they are.
They are very good, very very good. All right, now today I want to get into some other modeling techniques. Um, we're going to model this was something like this, but I want to go over some modeling concepts real quick before we do so. So we're dealing with a beveling concept, we're dealing with a curving concept, and also we want to texture it with a similar type of wood here. Okay, so I want to share with you some of the basic texturing that can be applied in Maya. I'm going to go into Maya real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just start a new file. Okay, I want to go over something with you guys. Um, Whenever everybody, of course, is well aware that these primitives we have their we have the ability to add more faces to them, or we can divide them more. So if we come over here to the polycube, we have this ability to add more slices to them. So what I want to do is I want to explore other concepts as well. I'm going to go ahead and bring in here a shift right click, and I don't want to extrude. Sorry, I want to get out of this. Let me undo that. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, oops. Let me do that one. Select the poly mesh. I want to come over here, grab this, and scoped. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Go to my cube, and I also let me just click it off, and then come over here and grab a cylinder also. Hit the W key, pull on back out of the way a little bit. A key, fit them all into view. Okay. Here, let's pull it just side by side here on the X axis, and then hit my R key, bring it on down like so. Okay. Let's bring it down a little more. And probably bring it up like so. Okay. All right, now we can bevel these things, especially I'm gonna work with the cube here. If I right click, go to my face selection mode. Well, let me put it this way: nothing selected means everything is selected. So if I hit, watch me, guys, stop playing on the computer. All right. So nothing's selected is everything selected. Just to make my point here, let me just get rid of this one here for now. All right, there we go. Nothing selected means everything is selected. So if I hit Command or Control B, all right, I'm going to go right click, grab my object, Command or Control B as in bevel. It bevels all sides. Okay, it bevels all sides. With this little panel coming up for that particular bevel command, I can decide how the depth of the bevel, right? I can also decide how many segments I want, and see how it rounds it off there. Okay, let me come over here and actually bring you can see exactly what it's doing, so we can see the edges on here. Okay, so I can add more segments to really give it a nice smooth rounded edge if I want to. So this little numerics panel is going to pop up. It's going to give you more depth. Now by default you're giving fraction, segments, depth, mitering, meter, and so forth, or chamber. If I turn that off, you see now it stays a very sharp edge with the edges being subdivided. If I turn chamber on by clicking and dragging left to right, you're going to get the nice little curved edge. So be aware that we can do this with the cube. If you want more options in here, now usually you got to pay attention to this. We have more options in each of these panels than what Maya gives you by default. If you come right up in here, it's a tiny little thing. It's probably hard to see in the monitor there, but if you click and hold, guess what? You've got more options. These that are checked are the ones that are showing. I can add more. Maybe I'll put in there angle tolerance, or maybe force. Maybe I will do offset fraction. Click that, and offset fraction now becomes an option. So whenever these panels come up, come over here to the options, uh, and explore what are the attributes that you may have available to you. Okay. All right. So let me take the segments down to 1. All right. And I'm going to take the fraction and just take that off as well. Now, I tell you what, let's do it this way. Let's go ahead and give it some fractions, okay? There we go. We can even go this far if we want to, add more segments. Now, this is always editable, right? So if we go to our attributes editor, right, it's always going to be available here, okay? Segments, right? See, that's always going to be available there unless you freeze it. So the way Maya works is it all the history that's being applied to what you've done to this rectangle is always maintained. It always stays unless you delete it. Once you delete it, it's frozen, it's done. You can't go back and edit it anymore. How you delete it, because it's going to make more sense when we actually curve the wood for our hammock that we're going to make. And when we curve that wood, we're going to decide we don't want to edit it anymore. I don't want to keep curving it. So we're going to delete the history so that wood stays frozen in time. Does that make sense? So if I come over here to my edit menu, go to delete, right below delete, you say delete type, delete history, which is Alt-Shift-D. Get used to that shortcut. You're going to use it a lot in Maya. So if I click that, right, let me just kind of, Shift Alt D, but we have to make sure that the object is selected. Once the object is selected, Shift Alt D is in delete, and the history is gone. You can't go back and edit this anymore, right? In fact, the option for the P cube to go edit the edges is gone. It just doesn't exist anymore. It's not in the panel anymore. All right. So when would we? It does two things. It freezes your object in time, so you can come in here and start playing around with other possibilities, right? Freezes it in time. You can come in here and you can start making other bevels out of here. Command or Control B, right? Okay. And we can play around with this. Go to our fraction, play around with this, depth, and so forth. Okay. So we have that option. This is kind of a flat. I shouldn't have used it on this one here. I probably would have extruded it out. Would be better. All right. So if I go to the W and hit my Shift key and extrude it out, would have been better. Okay. And then from here I can hit Command and Control B. All right. And then I get my little panel, and this will once again this will always be editable until you hit what? What's the shortcut? Shift Alt D. Shift Alt D, making sure that your object is selected. So if we come over here to object mode, Shift, like for example, here's my poly bevel number 1. That becomes an option under my attributes. So Shift Alt D, boom, gone, deleted it. Right? So now it's frozen in time. What you see is what you get. So if I come over here and grab my face mode, I can come in here and select any of these faces and do whatever I want with it. All right, so just keep that in mind. That's basically how Maya works. Is it maintains its history for everything that you do. So it gives you the most flexibility to go back and edit. So the clients that you're going to get jobs for really don't know what they want. They know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. It gives you the ability to go back and make those changes very easily. All right. So, how about let's talk about booleans here a little bit. So I'm going to let's go ahead and just hit the undo key and just go all the way back. There we go, back to my square. And let's come over here and shift, and let's go give this a cylinder. Bring that on in. Hit the A key, hit the W key for the move. Move this on over. R key for resize. Pull this up. All right. All right. So we're going to take this one, hit the W, pull it on over, and pull this up. So I'm going to push this in partly. So you're going to probably want to, cut shapes out of other shapes. There's going to be situations where you're going to want to do that. There's going to be situations where you want to add shapes to shapes, or there's going to be situations where you're going to want the intersecting shapes. Okay, so this is one of the, whenever somebody shows you how to boolean something out, it's always two simple little objects like this, and this is how they teach you. You can find tutorials like this all over the place online. I could use a ball if I want to put it there, but I figured this is going to be one of the easiest things to do. I believe it's in the deformed. I'm forgetting. I want to select the object, both objects, shift click on it. All right. I can't remember. I select the main object first or the, well, we'll find out. That's exactly. I forget. All right. So I think it's under, was it under deform or no? It was under mesh tool. No, mesh booleans. There we go. All right. I always forget that. You've got three options: union, which means join them together; difference, which means cut something out; and intersect, which means keep what's in between the two. Delete everything you see on the outside, but keep what's on the inside. So if I go to union, it's done. We take a look at this. These two are joined together. Well, how do I know that? Let's go right click here, grab something. Oops, that. Just select anything. Well, here we're in face editing mode, so I'm going to select that face. Okay, and that's done. Hit my W key, bring it up. See how they attach together now? Okay, so that's your boolean for joining. Let me go back, undo, and make sure it's undo again until these lines go away. There we go. Okay, so now they're separated again. Okay, so I'm going to target my cube, and then I'm going to shift click on the poly. I'm using my little menu right over here. Okay, so if you don't see this menu here, is this little symbol on the bottom. Click it, toggles on and off. It brings that back. And if I go back over to my mesh booleans, this time difference. Boom. See? So I selected the main object first, and then selected the boolean object. Right? And it booleans that out. Okay. All right, let's go undo that. And this time I want to intersect. So both are selected. We're going to go back to mesh, booleans, intersection. Boom. See? So keep in mind that you have those capabilities, and we're going to use that in this next project. All right, so whenever you model something, have a reference, have a reference, have a reference, have a reference. Do nothing without a reference. The human brain doesn't remember that well unless you model it so much that you've got it so memorized. It's like when you're drawing and painting and you have a character memorized because you've done it 100 times. All right. So until you have something down in your memory like that, have a reference. Always that you're going to learn best when it comes to 3D modeling by having an actual reference. Like, for example, this Wacom pen in my hand. If I want to model this, I'm going to look at every little aspect of that pen. It's right there in front of me. I don't have to rely on memory. It's right there in front of me. And I can model what I see. If you have something in your hand that you're going to model, you can match every little detail, and it's going to be convincing and accurate. Okay? So if you're going to model a glass, find a glass you want to model, or find something close to it, right? And model that. Okay? You're going to model a thumb drive. Look at every little detail. Observe it. Look at everything. Look inside where the thumb drive connects to your computer, and you notice there's a piece of plastic in there surrounded by a square metal surface, and there's probably little coils right down in here that you probably didn't notice before if you didn't actually look at it, right? How are you going to model this? How you're going to think about how to break up everything and their own layers. I'm going to talk about layers today and groups today. So groups and layers are the same thing as groups and layers in Photoshop. It works the same way in Maya as it does in Photoshop. So learning to observe. When they do CG elephants, for example, say for example a gaming company or a studio wants you to model an elephant, what they do is they actually take you to the zoo to touch and feel the elephant. All right? And then they have you take pictures of the elephant and take pictures of the elephant's skin for textures that you're going to actually put on your 3D model elephant. So and we're going to do that for an assignment. You're going to find something you're going to model, and you're going to photograph it from every dimension that you can, and then you're going to use your camera to photograph the textures on that thing, so it matches exactly what you saw. Okay, so that's we're going to start learning to model things accurately. So inside here, I want to create a hammock, but I'm going to use several references to work from. So I went online on the Google and I looked at different styles of hammocks. So as I looked at a bunch of them, thinking, okay, what could we do? What type of hammock could I do? If I'm going to be creative about it, I chose to model this. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to model this. But we're going to choose a different type of a hammock, probably model something like this for the hammock portion. Right? And then we're going to use the effects panel to actually use what's called soft body dynamics to make your cloth from that. Okay? So we just kind of build on to our modeling skills. All right, so whenever you look at references, this is the fun part. It's actually looking at things and deciding what's going to inspire you to create what type of thing. Especially when you get into making spaceships now. Everybody's probably looking at his Starfleet spaceships he was modeling. The interior is kind of fun stuff. The tools he used, the techniques that he's using to model his spaceships are the same tools you're going to use for everything that you do. So the limit is basically your imagination. All right, so let's go play. We're going to build this, and you guys are going to build it with me. What am I going to do? Talk to me. What do we need to do? What do we have available to make this happen? What was that? One person said splines. What was that? Okay, so his comment is get a picture of it, which we're going to say the client has given us a picture. This is the only picture he's got. That's right. He's a horrible photographer, right? But guess what? That's not your business, because he says, this is all I got. I want you to give me this 3D model, and we're going to pay you a few $1,000s to do it. How are we going to do it?
We can define the shapes that are already there.
Excellent. You observe the shapes that are there. What shapes are there?
Cubes.
That's right, a cube. All right. Modeling highly sophisticated things requires starting at very basic primitive geometry. The minute you start getting detailed too fast, you're going to go into a world of hurt. The entire model starts basic, and you stay basic through the whole process until you work it down to a smaller components and it all comes together. All right, so the basic component, now if we take a look at this, what do we have here? We have three long, we have not three, but we have several long cubes, right? How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cubes. So let's start with that. All right. So let's go into Maya and hit delete. Get rid of that one. All right. I'm paying attention to my little outliner here. There's what's that? P cube 1, P cube 2. Let's get rid of all of that. Just hit delete. Okay. So it's clean. No models in there. We're going to add a model in there. What's the shortcut? That's right. Shift right click. There's a cube. Now, all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do this now. You guys are going to do the next thing. Actually, you got to tell me what should I do next? Stretch it. How? Scale tool. What's R key, right? Damn, I should have asked you the shortcut first. Stretch it out. And again, keeping an eye, because we're not going to trust memory. Keeping an eye. Oh, I didn't mean to do that one. Keeping an eye on what this is going to look like. So it looks like they're all going to be the same. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, they're all going to be the same complete square, right? It's like a complete square. They're all the same. Well, if you look at it, it looks like it's a an equal square. Am I wrong? Well, actually, on mine, you know what? On your screen, well, we can stretch it a little bit. The screen on my monitor up here it's square up there. It looks like a stretch. It's probably the proportions, probably the way it's projecting. But we'll do it. We'll model it the way you see it. So this probably is a little longer going up the y-axis than it is on the left to right. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Let's go back to Maya. Hit the A key. So probably something like that. And then if we kind of bring it around, we squish it in like that. Everybody in agreement? Okay, get to that point. You guys know how to bring images into an image background, into an image poly here. So if I want to put an image plane or it's basically a polygon, I can do that. I find that when I'm working with a single screen, I find that gets in my way visually. And so what I do is I have a tendency to use bridge, right? Just bring it up in bridge. And so that I can have my 3D space clean and clear for me to work without nothing in my way visually distracting me. When I'm at home, I'm working on a dual monitor. So this is on one screen and then Maya's on another. And this is a situation where the client did not give you a front, side, and top view to bring into references. So this is the way we're going to work. Just put this on another screen and kind of use our imagination and pay attention to all the details that are here. Okay, so that's why I'm not bringing this in as an image plane. But you're already well aware of how to make an image plane, so that's like I don't need to go over that again. So here's my now. What we need to do next is bend this. Okay. To bend this, I have to slice this up so that the bend tool has the ability to bend that shape. So what we need to do is we need to add more polygons to bend it. To do so, the beautiful thing about Maya and working with primitives is you've got attributes where I can do that one. So I'm going to select it, right? Or I can go over here, go to object mode. Come over here to the attributes. Oops, sorry, I was already there. Come on. There we go. And go over to my Polycube 1. And for my width subdivisions, slice it up like that. Get to that point.
That much?
Hold on a minute. All right, so we're going to bend this. To do so, I'm going to need to subdivide this into more shapes or so that the bend tool can bend it. So what I'm going to do is come over here to the subdivision width. Now, one person made a comment, you needed that much? Well, the reason I did this much is so that I can get a smooth shape. If I make it too thick, you're going to get, straight edges in there. So I want to get a nice smooth curve. You guys can do it as much as you like, but I like to kind of get as much of a smooth curve as possible. All right, now watch me up here. You guys this is pretty easy. All of your shapes have attributes. Go to your attribute editor, target the Polycube 1, and again, the reason we have this ability to do so is because the history is always saved with the object. What do we do if we want to actually freeze the object again? Alt-Shift-D. And that'll freeze it. We're going to do that in just a moment. So here's my object. Let's actually do some things to it before we actually start bending it. First of all, let's actually put on here a texture. Okay. In your attributes editor, I think I have a right arrow here. If I go over, I have what's called a Lambert texture. Okay, so Lambert is a nice little texture. It's just your default texturing tool in Maya. Lambert doesn't really, apply specularity or shininess and stuff like that. But for this exercise, this is what we're going to use. The Lambert's showing you that it's using a standard gray. There's your color. So I can change the color anytime I want to. So if I click here and give it a red, I can do so. I can give it any color I want. Okay, I want to keep it kind of a bright gray or more closer to a white. Okay, so we've got our color, our transparency. This is great for glasses, right? You want to add transparency to it. The ambient color, which is kind of like your ambient light existing around your scene. You want to mimic that light. We have an incandescence light. We've got or lighting or textured surfaces. Bump mapping. Bump mapping is actually adding texture to the surfaces of your object that resembles bumping, so to speak, and so forth. Okay. There are better ways to texture, but this is what we're going to start with for now. I want to do a whole class just on texturing to go into more the more advanced texture features in Maya. But for right now, we're going to go to color, and we have the color we want. But what I want to do is I want to add an image. Now, inside your folder, you have textures in there. Actually, let me go back to my hammock. And let me go to my images folder. So my references folder is where I add the references for what I want to build. My images folder is where I actually place the images that I'm going to use to texture my object. So if I double click on images, here are all my different textures, right? I just downloaded these from the internet. Okay. I think I'll use this one here. I can use any of these actually. That's a nice one right there. And that one is called Wood Texture. What is that? Wood Texture number 1. Okay, so that's Wood Texture 1. So I'm going to utilize that. This is on that 3D drive I gave you, 3D folder. It's all in there. So just watch me for now. Don't play with it just yet. Just watch me. I'll let you guys do it next. So let's go back to Maya. And right over here to the far right, you see that checkered symbol. That's where you're going to tell it what texture to apply. Now, before I do so, I want to, well, let's take a look at my mapping It's called a UV map. In fact, I tell you what, before I do any more of this, I want to make a point here. I'm going to go back, my object selected, go to my attributes. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. I'm going to go back to my Polycube 1 and take my subdivisions down to 1. So I have this here. So if I come over here to the UV editor, right? I'm going to assign a UV. Now, let me share with you what a UV is. UV is basically your horizontal and vertical coordinates. So back in the day, gaming art could only use, I think, was it 256K? A 256K size? It's 256 by 256 dimension. It's a perfect square. We're still utilizing that type of coordinate where it's a perfect square on a flat sheet of paper. So what UV texturing is, or the UV map is, if I take an X-Acto knife and then cut these corners up, so you unfold the surface of this box and place it on top of a piece of paper, and then draw and paint on that paper, and then take the skin off, and then paint and paste it back on the box, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to take this three-dimensional object surface and make it a two-dimensional surface. So you can do your drawing and painting. That was important back in the day where Photoshop was solely used for texturing your surface of your 3D object. It still is to this day. There's other tools out there like Substance Painter, 3D painting tools in Maya, but what they're doing is they're actually painting onto the UV map, right? Even though it's showing you in a three-dimensional world, what's happening is actually still painting on the UV map. All right, now I'm going to go to UV, and I'm going to tell it what type of map I want. I'm going to say planar and click it. All right. Actually, I'm going to go to UV editor. Let's see, let's get it to come up here. All right, there's my editor. I was hoping to be able to see this a little better. Let me bring this up. Go to my UV, and I can go planar, cylindrical, whatever you like. Okay. I think my thought is that this probably already has UV maps associated with it. So if I go, let's see, do I have one that's called cut edges? No, we don't. We can go automatic and see what happens. Okay. Okay, so it's creating planes to actually place different surfaces on here. Okay. All right. If I come back, let me actually do it this way. All right. When I clicked on a checker pattern, I kind of segue to UV. We'll come back to that later. Click on that checker pattern, it's asking you what do you want to apply? Okay, if we look over here to the left, there should be one in here called image plane. Not an image plane, but that's here it is, file, right there. Okay, not on the left, but under the 2D, 3D, right over here to the right, is called file. I want to go get a file. If I click on it, by default, it's going to ask me what image file, what are the attributes of that file. So image name, go get the folder. I'm going to go over to my desktop. I put it inside of my Maya projects, Hammock, and then there are my images, and here are my various images. So if I go to this one and click open, all right, it's being applied to this. You can't see it by default. Maya has the image settings turned off. To turn them on, you're going to hit the number 6 key on your keyboard. 5, let's do this. 5 turns it off. See, shaded display is off. 6 turns it on. Off and on. See that button right there? That turns it off and on. So 6 is on and 5 is off. So now that's just been textured. Get to that point. No, I did not. Okay, now if I come back here And let me go back to my reference image. If we look at the edge on the top here, it's a little bit of a bevel to it. So let's do that to both sides. So I'm going to come over to here, back to Maya, right click, face mode. All right. Select that face, shift, select that face. What's the shortcut for bevel? Command or Control B. There it is. So if I get in a little closer to help me out here, watch me. Go to my fraction, pull it like right to there. It's kind of like actually that small. Segments. And as you can see, it did both sides equally. So get to that point. Resume. Okay, so we've got our textured shape. Okay. Hit the A key, fit that to view. So now we'll give it the capability to bend. So go back to my polycube, give it a whole bunch of subdivisions that way, like so. Now I'm ready to bend it. Watch me. Have them watch me. Yeah, hit them. Just joking. All right. So we have our shape. We're going to go to deform, so we're going to deform it. Nonlinear bend. Okay, so if you look over here to your left, oh, wait a minute, where's my bend come in? Oh, what happened? Oh, that's weird. Okay, so let's hit my Q key, go to my arrow, target it, and go to object mode. Let's do this again. Deform, nonlinear, and bend. There it is. Okay, so don't forget to target your object. That's what I was jumping ahead of myself here. Okay, let's rotate it around. That's your bending line there. Now this is how it works. I hear clicking. You did that intentionally. All right. So here we go. Immediately under the attributes menu, you have the attributes for the bend 1. You've got a low bound and a high bound. All that means is left side of the bend and right side of the bend. Because you can bend the left side or the right side independently. So if I see this, boop, 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 that's the right side of the bend and the left side of the bend. Now I want to curve it. See, that's your curve, right or left. So I'm going to, actually we'll just do it this way. You can see what I'm going to do. We need to rotate that bend so that this curve here is going to bend this shape this way, right? It's doing this weird funky little thing because here, let's go ahead and turn on our see our segments here. So if I come up to here and oops, so that's not what I want. That one. Can I do what? Did I turn? I didn't quite understand the question.
You got rid of your subdivisions.
Oh, did I get rid of subdivisions? I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. All right, let's go back to my attributes for this here. Object mode, and let's go back to PQ1. No, not that one, not that one, not. Wait a minute. Yeah, polycube 1. There we go. There. Okay. Maybe I should do is just go back. There we go. That's it. Okay, let's get my subdivisions back. Bend 1. That's curvature. Let's go to my object and oops, that's the bend. That's back over here. Polycube 1. That's it. There we go. Okay. Subdivisions. There it is. There's my subdivisions. Now, there's my bend handle. Click on it. And let's go to my bend 1 right there. And there's my curvature thing going on there. It's not what I wanted to do. So I'm going to hit the E key for rotate. And rotate it around like that. Okay. So you can see it's matching the curve. Well, how do I know that for sure? Well, let's go over here to our low bound, high bound. See, put it there, and put that one there. See? So if I want this one's 37,113, I'm not sorry, it's negative 1.546. We can make this one positive dot 546, so they're equal. See? That's all it's doing. So I can go over here to once I have it set, along the length of my object. Let's kind of get in a little closer. I can go play with the curve. Either way you want. So we want something. Remember, we got to go back and get our reference. Let's take a look at this. So I want just a slight curve in there. We want to do one of these. All right, we're doing one of these. We're going to go back to Maya, and that looks like it's pretty close. I might go to the curvature and probably pull it back a little bit like that. How does that look? A little more? Back a little bit? Okay, let's go. Oops, sorry. Like to there? Like that. Okay. Yeah. All right, get to that point. All right, so this scene is actually a fairly easy scene. If we take a look at this, our reference here, all eyes up here.
So collect all the pieces.
Right, exactly. It's basically one shape, right? It's one shape. I get one here, one on the other side, and one in the middle. It's the same shape. And manufacturers of stuff like this, that's how they work with simple shapes. And they bend them or revolve them or whatever.
Even when you package it, it's gonna be easy.
That's right. So when you package it, it's going to work. So and then this here is the same shape, right? Right on the bottom. But what we're going to do is if you look close to here, we've got some holes in here, which we're going to boolean in. Now using the boolean command, we're going to make the rivets that goes inside. The same thing here and here, all across. We need those holes. So I'm thinking, yeah. I'm thinking on this first one, these here don't have the holes in the side. They have the holes just up here. So I was thinking about doing one, but I just might go ahead and boolean straight on through on both sides. So I'm thinking about boolean one and then duplicate this, mirror this, right? So let's and do another here. So we need one shape or two shapes without the two holes in the side and two shapes with the two holes in the side on the side. Okay, so what we're going to do. Let's go into Maya here. All right, so I'm going to duplicate this again. So we need another shape without the two holes. One's going to have the two holes on either end. The other one is not. Okay, so hit the Q key. That takes me to my select tool. And then from here, I'm going to make sure I target my object and I want to duplicate it. Anybody remember the shortcut for duplicate?
Control V, Control J.
No, Control J is Photoshop duplicate a layer. Control D for duplicate. Control D, there it is. If you look over here, you've got another one. That's P cube 1, P cube 2, right? Hit the W key and pull it on out. Okay? Okay, now remember, we want two versions of this. One has two holes in the side, the other one is not. So I'm going to pull this one on out. Okay? And we're going to use this one to boolean from. Okay? Now that I have, I'm going to do one last shape. Command D, once again, pull this one over to here. Okay? I want to freeze the attributes of these two. So I'm done editing them in terms of curving. I want to freeze them as they sit. So Q key, target this. Let's make sure I'm in my object mode, of course. and Shift Alt D, right? Shift Alt D. And if you notice, the curvature will be gone from that one. So if I click this one, Shift Alt D, done. Okay, so those two are no longer editable in terms of curving. This one is. So the attributes is still being applied. So what I'm going to do is this one over here, because I want to edit the curves later. That's going to be for the base. So if I come back, I'm going to use that one for the base. One of the other ones, 2 holes in the side. The other one without the holes in the side is going to get the holes right up here in the top. Okay, let's go back to Maya. So let's come over here. Let's go ahead and put the holes in the side here. So I'm going to come over and let's deselect everything. Okay. Shift. I want my cylinder. Okay. We're going to position this. There we go. And we're going to resize it. So get the R key, resize it small. Probably pull it out a little bit like so. So since that shape is going to go all the way through, we're gonna make the it's going to go partly through actually, and I'll tell you why. Because basically the holes are bigger with a smaller hole in the middle, so that you have the actual rivets or the bolt has what do you call it? It's kind of like a flat hat.
Flange.
Yeah, the flange that's gonna fit in here. So we're gonna honor that particular workflow. Okay, so we're going to make it a little thinner. Okay, it looks good. Let's go ahead, hit the F key, E key, kind of figure out how I want to rotate this, like so. Okay, pull this on back. All right, let's go to the fourth view real quick. There we are. All right, let's go over here, F key. I'm going to hit Shift F so it fits it all into view here. Actually, I'm going to hit the A key for all. Shift A to fit them all in view. Hit the W key to move it. Okay, I'm going to pull it into there just a little bit. Oops. There we go. All right, so what I'm thinking of doing, and let me get these positioned first. Right there, okay? All right, so let's grab this and pull it on over. It looks about right, just about. Oops. Pull this out and back. Okay, that looks good. I want to kind of get an idea. So this is going to be close to here and one down here. Right. Let me come over to the side. This kind of perspective is really going to help with this. Okay. Pull it on down. And I've got the move tool, target it. Let's kind of move it on. Oops. Target this. Target it. Thank you. Uh-oh. It's not what I want. I want that one there. That's interesting. Why is it? Do I get them both selected? Oh, I see. Object mode. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Bring it on up. Right about there. Okay. Let's Command D, duplicate it. And let me see if this will help here if I go to this view here. I think it will. I'm going to come over and oops. Let's target this once again. Object mode. There we go. W. And let's move this on over. There we go. Okay, so Command D, grab that, put it right about there. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I think that one's done. Let's do the same thing. Let's go to this view here. In fact, here's my idea. Let's group these together. Let's see if this works this way. I haven't done it this way before, so this will be something new. So both of these are selected. What's the shortcut in Photoshop for group? Control G. Same thing here. Control G. See that group there? If you drop it down, there are my two objects inside that group. Double click the group. I'm going to call this one cutout shape. Now, I've never usually booleaned an object using groups of objects. So this is going to be a test out here. So I've got the group targeted. Let's go over here to this view. Okay. Object mode. Go to my group. Hit my A key. And actually, I'm probably going to stay in my perspective view here. Okay. Pull it on back. So I'm thinking of just using the, let's see, I'm going to go over here to, there are my objects. Let's go over to mesh. And I should have, there's the mirror. Okay, so on the mesh, I want the mirror. So I'm going to go over here to the front view. Okay, that's selected. I can even go right over here. I can go over here in the top view too. That might be even better. So right there. So get in close. They're selected. And let's see if this works. Mesh mirror. Okay. Now here, I don't want to cut out the old geometry. I want to keep it. So I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Turn that off. I'm clicking on it. And what axis do I want it in? Well, if you see it, it's grabbed one of those and it's mirrored it. So it did not mirror the group. I thought it might mirror the group. Okay. So it looks like it's mirroring the one on the inside. That one's done. Hit the Q key. Let's target this shape here. Let's go back to our mesh mirror. I don't want to cut out the object. Right? If you don't push this up to off, select this to off, it'll cut the other one out and put it over to here. Okay? It's done. All right? So I've mirrored everything. And what we have is those same two objects here, right? Now watch this. Look at my layers here. Look at my group. I should be able to drag and drop this. Let's see. Can I select it? And, oh, I can't drag and drop it here. All right. Well, forget it then. So I'm going to get to this point. So what we do is we create a cutting object to create holes into our plank here. I'm going to go back to perspective view. So get to this point. And we're going to do one of these planks, and then we're going to duplicate that plank. Yes. Resuming. Okay, here we go. Watch this. So once I have all four of these pegs here, let me get in a little closer. Move this on back. Let's select this one, these two together. And I'm going to hit my Shift-Alt-D to clear my history. Then what I'm going to do is go over to Mesh, Combine. That's going to combine all four of them as a single object. There. See? They're all the same color. There's now a single, look, right there. Single object, off and on, single object right there. Now, select the shape. And I'm making sure I'm also in the object mode. Select the main shape. Shift, select those shapes. Mesh booleans difference. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? It disappeared. I just did it on somebody else's computer here and it worked. So I know it works. All right, let me try it again. So select this here and then select, oops, that's the wrong one. Select that one there and select my objects. Okay. This should work. Not unless I did not delete this history. I'm going to go ahead to Shift Alt D just to make sure it's selected. All right, so grab this one and then grab that. And let's go over to our mesh, our booleans. It should difference it. Interesting difference. It deleted. That is very interesting. All right, let me recording. All right, so I'm having problems merging objects together. I don't know why Maya isn't doing this one. I've got a couple of students that did it the way I just showed you, and it worked. On my machine, it's not working for some reason. So I'm going to do it single at a time. I'm going to have to do it this way. So select your big object, this object. If we come back over to the go to my mesh booleans difference, it works. Okay, so before I do this, I want to duplicate this object. So Command D so that I can just start placing it somewhere else. So bring it on over, put it there. All right, so we're going to do this one at a time. I'm going to hit Command D again. Let me pull this on over. And let's go, I'm going to go from the top view here. So go to the top view, make it easier this way. Command or Control D, drag it to there. I want to see what this looks like in this other view. There we go, that looks good. All right, Command or Control D, and drag that one to there. All right, I'm going to bring this around. And there we go. So I've got them all set up. So I'm going to do them all individual. So let's go ahead and see if this works. That's a good point. So one person mentioned, I only want holes on one side, right? So select this one, select that one, select this one, and I should be able to pull them all out like this, right there. So holes on one side. Well, we're not going to see the other side anyway, right? It's going to be flush. Okay, so select this one, target this one, mesh, booleans, and difference. Okay, select this one and select that one. Mesh, boolean. It's giving me a problem. It's merging them. I don't know why. Mesh, booleans. So I'm having to go to my booleans, mesh, booleans at the top. There we go. Difference there. Go to select it, and they're disappearing. So it's no big deal. So mesh, booleans, difference. Okay. Now I'm going to pull this forward. There we go. Get in closer. This one's a little further down. I wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to bring it up right about there. And one last one. Select it here. Now I should be able to hit the G key. It's not working. I thought I can apply that booleans again. But we'll go over here to our mesh, booleans, difference. Oops, that didn't work because I didn't have this selected. There we go. Mesh, booleans, difference. Done. Okay, once that one, now we need one on the other side, right? Well, we've got it. We're going to place this one here. And we're going to mirror that one. Let's go to the top view. Okay, I'm going to go to the A key or the F key to be exact. And come right over here. And let's go over to my my mesh. Let's see, I want my, was it mesh here? Now I'm forgetting where things are. Edit mesh, and we want, I believe that was under mirror. Where did I see that? I'm forgetting.
I believe it's in Mesh.
That's what I thought. There it is, right in front of me. There it is. Hit the A key. Okay. Caps lock is on. I don't want the caps lock on. Let's go to this view. Okay, that is not what I want. Select this object here. There we go. Go to my mesh and mirror. Okay, I want this off so I can keep the other. Trying to remember where the other one is. Did it do it? P cube 7, P cube 6. That's interesting. So strange things going on today. Okay. All right. Something's going on. That's P cube 6. I'm going to delete that. Evidently, I don't want to delete that. Let's target this here. Let's go ahead and move these out of the way. It'll make it a lot easier for me. Let's go ahead and target this one. Place it right about there. And we're going to mirror that once again. So mesh. Let's go to our mirror. You know what? The machine may have to be rebooted here. It's not following my commands. Mesh and mirror once again. Turn that off. Okay, so it's deleting my geometry no matter what I do. Okay, so I'm gonna basically just kind of reboot my here, but go ahead and mirror yours. So we're gonna get the opposite of this side, get the holes on the opposite side. All right, found the problem. Here's what happened. Watch me here. My offset, there it is. My offset was matching. Okay, so there's my cube 7 there, and it's targeting both actually. Okay, so just be aware of that. Zoom it. Okay, so I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to go over here to face mode because right now I'm targeting both objects. If I target one of these, both are targeted at one time. So I'm going to just have to select all the faces on this one. Go to my rotation command and just rotate that around like so. We're going to put it into place. We'll do it this way. A little roundabout way of doing it, but it works. Okay, go to my top view. Okay, bring this on over. Bring it out slightly. Hit my rotation key because it looks like it's just slightly off. Right about like that. There we go. Okay. What was that?
Like everything mirrored, we could just duplicate it.
We could have done it that way. Either way works. I thought mirror would be just faster and easier. Rather than having to go on the rotation, actually physically rotate it around, the mirror would just flip it instantly. That's what was supposed to happen. But it didn't. For some reason, my system is acting strange. So I've got my 2. All right, so basically if I go back to bridge, I've got this and this side by side. Now we're going to put the others right next to it. Okay. Let's go back to Maya, and we're going to go grab the other 2. I'll do this one first, place it in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to go from the top view, and I can see that these, I can probably, now that works just fine. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to all up views, and what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to my move tool in the side view. Just kind of, pull this on back. Move this one out. Now watch. I'm going to put these 2, I think this moves in right about there. I'm going to go look at my reference. You look at how much percentage-wise that's moved. That's actually going to be placed right into here, inside the 2. Let's go back. So I'm going to place it probably right about like that. Place it so that this tip is right about there. Hold the D key. Watch me. Hold the D key on the keyboard. That allows me to move my rotation point. Bring it here. Bring it up to right about there. Release the D key. Hold the E. Hit the E key so I can rotate it like this. W. Push it in. And I can freeform it if I grab that center one. I'm going to say right about there looks about right. And then come over here back to this view. See? So the ideal thing here is to mirror it to the other side. Right? So that's the 0 point. So I should be able to target this one, go to my mesh, go to mirror. All right, let's see if this works. And let's see, it's geometry. Okay, I don't want to delete the geometry. I'm going to click it. There it is. It worked. See? Not everybody was looking on that one. See, that works easier. That was what I wanted to do. Okay. All right, so A key, there it is. So we're making some progress. We're making progress. I love it when I make progress. All right, so then go on and put your legs on. You guys can do that yourself. Flip this over, duplicate it, put the legs on one side, use your mirror command, flip it to the other side.
That's figuring out what it wasn't. It wasn't allowing the mirror to work properly.
All right, so then had a few little hiccups there, but that's all right. We've got this right. I'm going to take this everything here. Let's go to our object selection mode. Select all of these. Okay. Go to my top view, and I'm going to move this so that it's dead right on the 0Z positioning, because that's about right. I'm thinking that's going to be centered on the 000 axis. All right, and in addition, I'm going to make sure this is pulled up so it's sitting on the ground plane. Okay. And I can even see from this view here, it's right on the ground plane. Okay, now let's go make our legs real quick. Very simple. I'm going to go ahead and target this one here. And hit the E key, hold the J key. What that does is it will snap it to 15-degree increments. Okay, holding the J key, snaps, right? Now that it's upside down, hit my W. Let's get it on over here. Place it right over here where I want it to be. E key for rotation. J, 15-degree increment, snaps right about there. Now I'm going to come right over here, bring it on up. So hit my W. All this you guys know. Here's my ground plane. E key, and I'm going to leave the snap off because this is going to go flush against the side here. And then I'm going to hit the W and just place this, make sure that edge touches the ground. Okay. All right. So once that's targeted, this is where I go to my mesh, my mirror. All right. And I want it mirrored. I don't want that. I want this turned off. The cut geometry. Sorry. Access object. Let me see what this is. Yeah. All right. So geometry, turn it off. I want to keep it. It's here. And the axis that I want to be on, it should be the x-axis. That should be correct. I'm going to go to Y. Okay. Nope. Z. No. That's the right axis. I don't know. I think it's the offset again, right? So we go to the offset. Strange enough. So that's my offset, merge threshold. All right. Well, here, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to hit my Q. Oops, sorry. It's selecting them both. This is that same problem I had last time. So the way to nick this thing in the bud, go to object view. Actually, I don't want object, I want face view. Select all those faces, okay? Select all the faces. Then I should be able to hit the W key, move it on up, or just select it where I want it to go approximately, hit my rotation, because right now it's seeing as one object. That's why I had to go to face view. All right, hit the W and reposition right about there. That should do it. Now here's where it gets fun. All right, hit the A key. There's everything that's there. Now what I want to do is I want to put all of these in a single layer. Watch me. Thank you. So I want to put all of these in a single layer. Hit my space bar, A. All right, so there's my object. I want to stay organized. Right now, everything is like in independent objects. I want to stay really organized. So go to my object mode, select everything. Up here, I have my little panel for channels and layers. And what I want is come right down here to layers and click it. And I want to create an empty layer, not just an empty layer, but create a layer from the selected objects. And there it is. If I turn off, see the V for view, turn it off, boom, 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 boom. It's all organized now. So if I double click this layer, I can rename it. I can call this one the body of the hammock. And I can give it a different color. I can give it red if I want to and save it so that the body is going to be in red. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create the actual hammock. All right. So if I turn this back on, what I'm going to do is if we take a look at a reference, we're going to look at another reference site. So we're done with this one. So let's look at another reference for the hammock. So I'm thinking we want 2 rods, 1 rod here and 1 rod there, okay? And then afterwards, we're going to create this fabric that's going to connect the two. So the way you create the fabric, well, I'll tell you what, I'll show it to you after we're done. Get 2 rods in place here for now. And then also, let's start creating the boats. The boats that's going to go, and I lied, we're not totally done with this one. We got to create the boats that's going to go into these holes here. Okay, that's pretty easy. Um, go back into Maya here. Let's go get our boats. All right. How do you think we would create them? Cylinder. That's right. Use a cylinder and bevel it out. So we have a thin boat and we have the thick head of the boat. That's where the flat head of the boat that'll go in. You pretty much know how to do it. Go for it. So create boats. One boat, one good-looking boat, and then duplicate it. Put one in each hole. And then we're going to create the ring that's going to hold the actual the cords to the hammock. So if we look real close here, see that little ring right up there? Create that ring. That's going to be beveled right up here in the top. Okay? Go ahead and resume. All right, so take note. All eyes up here. Stop working. Watch me up here. So take note that I've placed my entire body in its own layer. Let's go to this view, hit the A key. Let's kind of pull this in here. Okay. So I placed the entire body in one layer. In addition, that entire body is placed in its own group, and I renamed it body. So I'm keeping things really organized that way. So if I open up the group, I have all my individual objects that makes up this body. Notice that everything in this group has a reddish color to it. That's because I colored. It takes on the color of the group. So that tells you that all of these two are in a single. That whole group is in a single layer. All right. So if I click on the color, I can change that color anytime. Say green, save. Now that particular layer set becomes kind of a green color. So now let's go ahead and start creating our hammock, or getting set up for the hammock. We'll go to this view. I'm going to come over here and let's shift and let's go to our cylinder. I'm going to use a cylinder for this one. Let's go here to this view here. And I'm going to come over here and go ahead and kind of extrude this. Not extrude it, but resize it outwards. So hit the R key. And I'm going to hit the center. Make the rod about that thin. Make it a little thicker. Okay, let's go to our other view. And before I go to the other view, I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and rotate it. So hit the E key. Hold my J key down. Snaps it, come to the top view, snaps it with the J key being held down, W, grab the square in the center here, which allows you to freehand it, and I'm going to place one there, okay? Command or Control D, watch me guys, Command or Control D, I hear stuff clicking, and I'm going to put the other one right about there. The hammock is going to spin in between here. Okay, now this is where it gets fun. Let's go and start making a hammock. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this file. All right, I can just hit the Control S. It's telling me it's a student version. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to start making the hammock, the actual the fabric in here. To do so, I'm going to go right up here to my poly modeling tools, and I'm going to grab just a flat plane, which is right there on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and resize this one out a little bit, like so. Make it about just under the full length of the tube. Let's hit the W key, bring it on over, bring it on up. All right, Shift A and fit them all into view. Bring it on up, and I'm going to bring it just on top of the tube. So if I come over here to the this view here, and I will go ahead and hit the F key to fit it all into view. Okay. So I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to wrap this around the tube. So the fabric's going to wrap around the tube, go to the other side and wrap around the other side. Okay, kind of give it some realism. Come back over to here, go to this view, hit my F key. Okay, there's my shape. Bring it down right about there. Okay, and I think I'll bring it in something like right about there. All right, now here's where it gets fun. I'm gonna hit the Control S just to save it. Just in case something wants to crash. Now, if you take a look at my shape, I've got all these subdivisions here. I don't want that. Okay, I don't want that one. So I'm gonna come back over here to attributes and polygon, and I want everything to be just one flat plane. Is all I care about at this point. Now I'm gonna go back and grab the edge. That's it, just the edge. To do so, I will right click and I'm going to go to Edge, Editing. Grab that edge. It's also grabbing these edges over here. So I'm going to go hit the Control key. Oops, I didn't mean to do that one. Hit the Control key and select that. So the only edge that's targeted is this one right up here, as you can see. Okay, so let's going back up to the side view, and I'm going to pull this out just a little bit so I can go just past this one, and let's go and pull it down. So hold the Shift key, extrudes, right? So extrude it out, extrude it on down. Hold the Shift key, extrude it out this way, as if that's going to look like it's going to wrap around that canvas. Okay, so if I get in a little closer, you can see it kind of wrapping around there. Okay, now let's go to this edge here. Target that edge. I clicked on it so I don't have to go deselecting anything. And I'm going to go to the side view. Hold the Shift key, and I'm going to stretch it like so. Just like that. Okay, getting close. Stretch it on over. Shift key, wrap it around. Shift key, wrap it around. There. Okay. So what I have is a standard, just a straight poly. Now this is where it gets fun. I need to, in order for this to act like canvas, for it to bounce around like fabric and stuff, it has to have additional subdivisions in there to get that. Otherwise, the program's going to treat it like one solid board, like a wooden board. It's not a wooden board. We're going to subdivide it up into pieces so that everything's going to flow, ebb and flow the way that we want it to. All right, so let's go over to here, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the edge. Let's go over here. I'm going to go pull this on over and put it in a little, kind of get a different view. There we go. We're going to split this up. So if I go to my mesh edit tools, we should have edge loop. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Sorry about that. I wasn't seeing it. I'm just tired. So insert edge loop. Now the way it works is you grab the edge, right? Just grab the edge, and if we rotate it around, we can see we have an edge loop. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. Grab another edge. Grab another edge. Oops. It's adding them all in there. Can you see that? Yep, it's in there. See that one right there?
The third one's selected.
It's selected. It's really bright. If I go select another, now there, see? There. And I'm adding a bunch of little edge loops in here. I'm targeting, I'm clicking right on the edge, which adds that little loop. Same thing. This way, the difference, well, we talked about the difference between this and subdivisions. This is honoring a loop of polygons next. In this particular case, it doesn't matter. They both work. Subdivide will work just fine on this particular shape. But what this allows me to do is to target exactly where I want those loops to be. So I get to control how many of these I get to have, where subdivision will take every single little polygon and just subdivide it, no matter where they are. Now, if I come over to the side, I can do the same thing here. Grab an edge, it sees that entire loop, that loop of polys. Grab this one, grab this one, okay? Okay, we'll stay there. Hit the Q key to get out of that tool, and as you can see, we've got all our individual components. So, what we need, what we need to do is to make this fabric. To tell it to become fabric, we're going to come over here out of our modeling tab and instead go to the effects tab and click on it. You're going to get the effects options show up right in here. Right over here, you're going to have a in-cloth option. So we need to make sure that this is targeted. So if I grab object mode and target this object here. So I believe this object is, let's go to my layers here real fast. It's inside a layer. Let me target that object there. I want to see what my options are in here. Send objects to selected objects to send object to selected layer, or remove selected object from the selected layer. That's what I want to do. Select it. I should be able to get that. No, well, that's going to be the standard color. It's going to select. So we have it targeted. I'm going to come over here to my in cloth. Create in cloth. Select. Now, we need the animation. We've just applied an animation to it. So if I go to animation bar right down here in the bottom and pull it over, not the animation bar, but the timeline, see, it drops out. See, it's starting to act like cloth a little bit. Yeah, it's like a gravity function. Just applying in cloth to it. We don't want it to do that, do we? We want it to be attached to this object. So we need to tell it this object is going to interact with the cloth, right? The cloth is not going to go through it. So get to this point, and then we'll do the rest. And I'm going to... All right, so I want to tell it not to go through these poles. So I'm going to target the poles, both of them. And I'm going to tell it to use this as what's called a passive resistance. So if I go back to in cloth here, I want to create passive collider. That's what it's called. Not everybody's watching me. You guys are playing and not watching me. All right, so a passive collider means that's the object that fabric is going to collide with. So it's not going to go through that object. So if I select it, okay, it's been established as a passive collider. Now what we want to do is we want to tell it to hang on to these poles. All right, I don't want it to fall off these poles. So what I'm going to do is select the points of this thing and say those points are going to be stationary. It's not going to go anywhere. But the other part of the cloth is going to go somewhere. So I'm going to go here to the top view, right about there, with the A key. I'm going to select the vertex mode. I'm going to select all these vertexes here, so they're highlighted. And I'm going to target with the shift key, target all these vertexes here. And let's see, it should be in constraint, so in cloth and in constraint. Target it, and I'm going to tell it to transform those into constraints. And select it. All right, so with the fabric in cloth, okay, now let's give it a try. Let's go over here and take a look at it. Okay, and see, you want to get to that point, and it gets even better. But just get to that point. So in your look over to your left, you're going to notice that you're going to have your in cloth dynamic properties over to your left. If I target that over to your right, you're going to see the in cloth shape. And in this shape, you're going to have several attributes like collision and dynamic properties and force field and wind and so forth. Okay. Now, if I come over here to the top right, you'll see presets. If I hit the presets, guess what? You got chiffon. What does that say? Chiffon, honey. You got silk. So if I use silk and I suppose what I can do is I can replace it. But let's go ahead and just replace it. And now I come over here to the timeline, right? And then give it a try and see what it does. Okay. It's going to start to behave like silk a little bit. If I come back to the presets, I can do something like burlap. Okay. Let's do replace burlap as there. And you can see it's starting to feel like it's heavier now. So go back to 0, pull it back and forth, kind of get the feeling for how it's falling. Okay, I want a little bit more. If I go to the dynamic properties and drop it down, here's where I can control the stretch resistance, the compression resistance, bend resistance. So this is where you just play with it, right? So say stretch resistance. If I go all the way to the right and I pull it to the right, it's really resisting the stretch. If I take the stretch resistance and pull all the way to the left, let's see what happens. It starts to kind of like, right, sound effects and all. It starts to kind of fall down a little bit. It's kind of like really drooping. Right, it's really baggy. So if I wanted like a little more stretch resistance like so, then you can do that. And we have some bounce. Where's my bounce? It's bend resistance as well. How about my bounce? I saw that in here somewhere. I think that may be a separate setting, but you've got shear resistance, bend, angle, tear off. Now play with all of this, okay? If I drop this here, let's see, do I have a... It seems like I saw the bounce in here. I'm probably just missing it real quick. I'm going to go back to my dynamic properties, but rigidity, okay? Let's take this on back over here to 1, and there it is. Let's go ahead and pull that on. Let's see what happens. See, it's really rigid. It's like it's stiff as a board now, right? So you're not getting any type of an effect. Take the rigidity to 0. It's going to, of course, place us back. It's going to drop down. However far that you, no, far that you set your settings. Let's come over here. We got the drag, dump, stretch, dump, and so forth. Okay, so play around with those settings and find something that's going to work for you, work for your particular taste. Here's one under the presets. I did rubber sheet right down here, and with that applied, get a little bit more of an bounce, so to speak. It was, yeah. We had it working there. There we go. There it is. It needed to cache a little bit. Boing. Okay. All right, so play around with a lot. Here's the bounce right here. Rubber sheet. Now it's got 0. Let's see what happens if I go all the way to the right. Oh, okay. There we go. Now we got a nice strong bounce. Okay, so again, definitely explore this.